Okay, let me just do a much quicker video just of the PowerPoint slides without the computations. Okay, what's going on here? By the way, it's a nice view up here. I don't know if you guys have ever been up here. Can you see this? It's from the top of, I forget what the name is, Laver Building. It's quite nice, huh? That's our exeter. Okay, back to work. PowerPoint. Okay, so I say in this case we have two guys, marginal benefits. Let's pop out pen. Let's give you a second to look at this. If no one else provided any of the public good, you might state the individual's demand curve and then invert that. In other words, solve it in terms of, instead of quantity in terms of price, for price in terms of quantity, to get the individual's marginal benefit. But be careful, it really, presumably the marginal benefit will not go negative. Okay, so this is person A's marginal benefit, but after the 7.5 unit, no more marginal benefit, not a negative one. Person B's, after the 10th unit, no more marginal benefit. Okay, so the first unit gives person B 10. First unit provided, okay? So it doesn't matter to A or B whether they're the ones that provide it or the other fellow provides it or person provides it, but we each benefit from whatever Q, however number or many of fireworks are provided. Okay? Social marginal benefit, thus the first unit is enjoyed by person A. A gets 5, B gets 10. Total social marginal benefit of that first unit is 15. Okay, at a marginal cost of 11, what's going on here? The marginal cost of 11, neither B nor A would individually want to provide any of the public good, because B gets at most 10 for the first unit of the public good in benefit, and it costs her 11 for the first unit. And further units, it just goes down from there. And if B thought that A was going to provide some, well, then B says, okay, well, I'll be starting from this point where A has provided whatever this is, 3. Further units give me even less, so none of these units are worth the marginal cost of provision. Okay, so what would be provided privately? In this case, the prediction would be big donut 0. What would be provided, or what is the social optimum provision? Well, we add, certainly, let's say the first unit is worth providing because A gets 5, B gets 10, so the first unit's worth 15. Collectively, they'd be willing to pay 15, and it only costs 11. Second unit, third unit, etc., until we get to this point where I haven't given you the actual function here, but whatever it happens to be. At this point, the social marginal benefit just equals the marginal cost. So this last unit or so gave just more total benefit to both, or to all, if we generalize this to all the people in society, than it cost. But after this point, social marginal benefit is less than the marginal cost. Okay, second example. So first case, no private provision, but there should be optimally some provision. If we could find a mechanism, a way of doing this, having it provided through the government. Okay, sorry for those back and forths there. If marginal costs were 8 with the same sort of slopes as we saw before, well, now we have the case where person B, if they thought A were going to provide none, which seems like a reasonable expectation. Which seems like a reasonable expectation that B will provide none, because B never gets a marginal benefit over in excess of the marginal cost of providing that additional unit of fireworks or whatever. So it's reasonable for B to think that A will provide none. If B thinks A will provide none, A will, yes, provide until the marginal benefit B gets is less than 8. So we see on this diagram, this is the same marginal benefit of B, same marginal benefit of A, and then the social marginal benefit here adds their two marginal benefits. Okay, the social optimal amount is not QB, where B finds his marginal benefit or her marginal benefit equals the marginal cost of 8. It's here where the social marginal benefit equals the marginal cost of 8. So we might call it Q star for the social optimum. So note that, let's say, private provision or provision without any coordination would provide an amount that's less than the socially optimum, and this amount of value that I'm shading in right now is lost, because here we see that at this point the social marginal benefit of the next unit exceeds its marginal cost, and a few more units up till we get to Q star. So it's arguably not, well, in a sense, not Pareto optimal if we just have private provision, because there's a gain to be had that could be shared between A and B if they both, let's say, chipped in or were forced to chip in for the public good. Now here's the final, more difficult one, which I don't want to get into detail on at the moment because the last video was too long. But the thing to note is, with this very low marginal cost, let's say 2, at this point, after the 7.5 unit, only B is getting any benefit. Okay, so if I look at we add this up and we get the social marginal benefit for the units out here, for the units 7.5 through 10, these units in the relevant range here, or the range is actually here, only B is getting benefit. Therefore, the marginal benefit, B's marginal benefit curve is in fact, after a 7.5, the same as the social marginal benefit. So the thing that B would choose, let's say he assumed that A was going to provide none of it, the amount that B would choose, this amount, where social marginal benefit is equal to marginal cost, is the same as, this amount B would choose where B's marginal benefit equals the marginal cost is, in this case, the same as the amount one would choose where the social marginal benefit equals the marginal cost, because in the area that matters, only B is getting benefit, so the social marginal benefit is the marginal benefit. Now we could consider more what would B provide if he thought that A was going to provide some amount, and what beliefs would be reasonable about that, but I'm not going to get that detail. I'm not going to get into that detail right now to keep this video comparatively short.